Satkamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Om. Sisters and brothers of this august congregation, very respected Swami Brahmanandji Maharaj, Shubhanand, I'm sorry, Prabhanand. I apologize, Swamiji. Most beloved, respected Swami Suparnanandaji, Swami Ishtanandaji also I remember, who is the Swamiji in Florida, who had introduced me to perhaps this function, to Swamiji, who kindly invited me here.
Yes, in fact, he had asked me to invite.
Yes. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, the Governor of West Bengal, Shri Keshrinath Tripathi ji, thank you also for the ideas which you have left behind in the course of your wonderful speech. Shri Anindya Mitra ji, former additional Solicitor General of India and Advocate General of West Bengal. All of you, children of eternal bliss, I see a full hall before me. It seems to me as if I am addressing the World Parliament of Religions, except that there are now different representatives from different congregations. We are all representing one congregation, which is humanity. I think that is the greatest inspiration and influence we carry with ourselves in our lives, by this great influence of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, the inspirer, the guru of one of the greatest spiritual leaders of humankind, Swami Vivekananda, and of course the Holy Mother, who was a part of his own growing up in the world of spirituality. Of course, he had always been serving three mothers, as he said: Mother Sharada, his own mother, biological mother, Bhuvaneshwari Devi, and of course the mother in the temple, Mother Kali, who was the all-consuming, the all-encompassing mother. Attisthata Jagrata, Attisthata Jagrata, arise awake and rest not until the goal is reached. Arise and awake until the goal is reached, which presupposes that even before we are awake, we have to arise. Normally it's the other way around. You have to first awake from bed and then arise from the sleeping position to the normal active position. This was a very unique usage of these expressions, arise and awake. I think this needs to be a little amplified. Why? I think what Swami Vivekananda had in mind was to first make the consciousness of human beings arise, which was for him extremely important. Behind all that he did, all that he said, whether in America, in UK, in India, for the most part of his very, very short physical life, I think he was playing on this consciousness or awareness, as we call it, in another spiritual term. Everything can be understood if we have that consciousness to understand. And in many places, when he is addressing, he also is interchanging consciousness with divinity. And when he says that we are all divine, equally divine, the difference is that we just have to recognize that we are divine. Those who have recognized and those who have not recognized, that is the only difference. Otherwise, divinity is latent in us. Divinity is immanent in us. We are born with divinity because we are born with something, the soul, which is divine. No doubt about it. And therefore, once this inequality, this superficial, material, physical inequality is removed from the thought, from the belief, from the customs of the society, everything drops out very clear. That human consciousness guides us all to perceive that we are all equal, that we are all divine, that we have a goal in life and therefore arise, awake and rest not until the goal is reached. And what could be that goal? What was Swami Vivekananda asking us to lead ourselves to that goal? Here I see many revered monks, very senior, respected, revered monks of the Ramakrishna Vivekananda order sitting here right in front of me. I feel overwhelmed to be talking to them, a layman. But again, because we are all equal, we are all divine, we are all soaked in the spirit of divinity, I repeat, I dare to speak a few words. What has happened to me in the course of my transformation in my life? As a child of 10, when I used to go to school in my hometown of Puri, which many of you would know because it is always flooded with Bengali tourists. It's just an overnight journey from Kolkata. I grew up. I went to school there, and those days, I'm telling of 50 years from now, we didn't have an English newspaper in the whole of Puri town, and I wanted to read something about my country. So the only place where I used to get an English newspaper was in the library of the Ramakrishna Mission. And the Ramakrishna Mission was very close to my house. So I used to go every evening. And in the course of getting to know what was going on in the country, I got exposed to this wonderful world of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda and the Holy Mother. Of course, I was too young to realize then who were they, what were they doing, what was their role in the spiritual regeneration of the world. They were maybe too much for me. And I saw today so many children of your institute sing hymns. So many children greet the Honorable Governor while he was walking past. It brought me back to my own days as a little child, a very curious little child, inquisitive, to know more about what it was. And thus, I entered this immense spiritual world which was waiting for me to be discovered. Long time later, I joined the Indian Foreign Service and served my country as a diplomat abroad, which I am still doing. My current assignment is Hungary, in the heart of Europe, and I am accredited also to a neighboring country called Bosnia and Herzegovina. Different cultures, different peoples, different civilizations. But again I remember Swamiji, what Swamiji was doing. Why was he talking more about India and America? Why? I think a good part of Swamiji's lectures, his letters, his dialogues, his conversations have happened in America, on American soil. Because I think he believed that at that time, the rational philosophy which Western thought had developed had reached its climax in America, which had expressed, of course, in scientific development, in technological advancement, and all that. And Swamiji had appreciated it and loved it. And having done that, he wanted to also relate to those people who were perhaps, in Swamiji's thinking, deficient in perceiving the immense culture of this part of the world. And at some point of time, Swamiji says that please, I want more and more Indians to come out of India and look at the world outside. There is an immense civilization waiting for you to be discovered. And he says that I will greatly appreciate if more and more people come out of India to tell others about what India is. In my little diplomatic career of 36 years by now, I have been doing precisely that. Of course, playing and promoting India's relations to countries in the world. This is one aspect of our relationship, the spiritual India. How to promote spiritual India. And let me tell you that a good part of today's tourists coming into India are coming not for soaking themselves on the beaches of Goa or visiting the heritage monuments of Rajasthan or going anywhere else in India, or even nature, or even mountains. They have enough of that in other parts of the world. Enough. They have enough of monuments, enough of history, heritage sites, enough of beaches, and much finer beaches, which are unsurpassable in beauty, but they still flock to India. They flock to India because they want to discover the spiritual side of India, which is not available to them anywhere else, this particular side of India. Trust me when I am saying that, because I say from my 36 years of experience of living a lot of years abroad. Out of 36 years, I may have spent about 28 years interacting with various peoples, with various civilizations, with various cultures, talking to them about what we can offer as a kind of a dialogue. It is very typically a dialogue of civilizations now which is going on, which should go on, instead of a clash of civilizations. And that is, I think, where Vedant's role comes in, the teachings of Swami Vivekananda comes in. And therefore, when I talk about regeneration of Vedantic thought in the world as a part of what Swami Vivekananda's contribution to the growth of national consciousness of India. I think both of them are very intricately and integrally linked. If you understand one, the other also follows. As respected Swamiji mentioned, he said, please send us a text of what you are going to speak. I wrote back very humbly saying, Swamiji, I normally don't speak from a prepared text. I prefer to speak extempore, because then the words and the thoughts comes out very spontaneously, very naturally. It's good to express them like that. But Swamiji insisted, and now I now feel why he insisted was because he was going to print it in the form of a booklet for all of us, so you can read that also and understand. That was written just like that, in the sense that Swamiji, I was moving from one engagement to the other at that time, a little too busy in my own professional life, and Swamiji was reminding me from here, please send me, please send me. So I sent him, and one night I just sat. I wrote it for continuously for 4 hours. I finished it. Next morning I just brushed it up, and then I sent it by mail to Swamiji the next morning. It is just because you grow up in the thoughts, in the vision of this great phenomenon. And when people outlive themselves, when they become legends, any of our legends, Rabindranath Tagore, Mahatma Gandhi, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and many, many, many names of India, besides many names in the world too, they become phenomena in the sense that you can perceive them. You don't need to actually, thereafter comes a stage when you are growing up with them, at least that is my feeling, and therefore it comes naturally to you. What I am telling you now is something which has been my experience in life, which I am sharing with you. I didn't know what a Foundation Day oration was when Swamiji gave me this very huge task. I said, my God, something really, and in the company of great monks and seers and holy people, and what should one say? What should one say? I said the best way is to relate one's experience as it has come. As I have seen something happen in me, that why I have been so much attracted to Swami Vivekananda. I have been attracted to Swami Vivekananda because of two things mainly. One is that his emphasis on karma, his emphasis on duty, his emphasis on doing your work, come what may. And work for the poor, for the marginal, for the depressed, for the wretched of the earth, for all that. Those wretched of the earth, 152 years ago, in his time, were there. Those wretched of the earth, 152 years later, are still there. They are not gone. They are still there, all around us. Yesterday when I was driving down from the airport to this place, on both sides, there were those wretched of the earth, living right here. Who goes there? Who cares for them? That is a time for reflection. And I think if this oration of mine has given you any kind of thought towards that, I'll be very happy. We all have that responsibility, what we call social responsibility, towards the poor, as Swamiji very clearly, very analytically, very rationally pointed out. And we owe it to the society, that we are born into this society and we are going to perform some tasks before we realize ourselves. Yes, self-realization is of course the biggest goal until the goal is reached. But the goal is not only self-realization. Self-realization could be done sitting in a secluded, in an isolated spot somewhere, doing meditation, all the waking hours of the day and night, and moving faster on the plane of that evolution of consciousness. That is very good. That is a spiritual high. That is uplifting the spiritual being within us. But I think this should also go hand in hand. And that is exactly what Swami Vivekananda was telling, both in India and in America, that those wretched of the earth needs to be seen with more sympathy and with more love, with more compassion. His entire philosophy is built around love, if you see. As a Vedantist, you would see that Vedantist, Adi Shankaracharya, the first who brought in Vedanta to the let's say, the spiritual lexicon of India, cut and dry, cut and dry. I am the Brahman. I don't know anything else. I can leave the mother, I can leave my family. When my father passes away, I come, but I'm not that affected. I am the Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Fine, I am the Brahman. But I am the Brahman with a body. I am the Brahman wrapped with a body, a garment. It could be an old garment, it could be a disused garment. That garment may fall apart, as Swami Vivekananda said, days before he was to actually leave that garment. But there is a garment. All of us are wearing that garment here. That is also one truth. Maybe the truth is Maya. Again, Vedanta. We all know that. But we live in Maya. Towards the end of his life, Swami Vivekananda had that realization that all what I am saying is all Maya. The poor, the compassion, the love. Once it is Vedanta, once it is Advaita, everything is one and the same. One truth. Ekam Sat, Viprabhavada Vadanti. But when you go out to the world, when you go out to your immediate neighborhood, when you go out to the society, you will see that it strikes you. It strikes you because you have certain things within you. It hits that. It hits your emotions, your feelings of empathy, your feelings of touching that person. That soul of yours touches that other person's soul. And it happens. I'm not saying only from my experience, maybe I could be joined with many others like you, could be sharing such experience. Not that we are denied, the wonderful sadhana, the discipline of Vedanta, which these holy men before us have all been practicing. Not that. We can do both. In fact, we can be both the saint and the householder. And who best than Sri Ramakrishna had been the best embodiment of that. When he gives his message to his disciple that being a householder, living in this society like a lotus is the most difficult. And yet, understanding all this, the spiritual message, the spiritual evolution within yourself, how you are a part of that cosmic consciousness within yourself, and yet you are a householder. That is the one thing which has struck me in Vivekananda. And the other thing which has struck me is his total concept of bringing within you a sense of nationalistic fervor, that India was the best. He never said that in so many words, but in all his sermons it comes out that when he is orating, when he is talking about India, he is talking about a regenerated India. He is talking about an India which is the best idea which he can give to foreigners. And therefore that has influenced me very much. When I speak abroad in a gathering, I talk that part. I talk that part because we have so much in our own country to reveal. In fact, it will be more than a lifetime for us to discover what is there in our own country before we even leave it, before we leave India's shores. And therefore it gives immense pride and courage and confidence in our own motherland. And we are blessed. We are blessed that we are all sons and daughters of this land. When we talk abroad about the virtues of our country, people listen to us. They listen to us. Okay, when we talk about economy, okay, they have better economies to talk about. When we talk about our defense, yes, we are bigger powers in the world. But when we talk about that spiritual factor of India, that cultural matrix, that civilizational aspect, when we talk about that dynamics of that 5,000-year-old civilization, that is what is material to the world. And therefore, there comes the role of Vedanta in the world. What can Vedanta do? And let me put this before this August gathering, that Vedanta societies are doing a lot all over the world. While I served in America for 3 years, I was myself a part of our embassy in Washington, D.C. I visited many parts of America. I visited many Vedanta societies in America. I loved interacting with the Swamis. In UK, Vedanta society. But in Europe, sir, there are not many Vedanta societies in Europe. There are not many Vedanta societies in other parts of the world. You talk about taking this message to many parts of the world. In Africa, there is none. In West Asia, there is none. In Southeast Asia, perhaps there is none. In East Asia, there is none. In Australia, maybe a few. Why? Vedanta belongs to the world. The world should be imbibed with the virtues of Vedanta. And we have to take it as far as possible to all corners of the world. That was the mission, that was the dream of Swami Vivekananda. Let us do that. And there is a practical reason for that. And the reason is, I think in today's world, Vedanta is the only panacea, Vedanta is the only medicine which can cure the evils of the world, which can clear the pandemics of the world, terrorism, climate change, huge globalization with all its evils. I think Vedanta as a spiritual doctrine, if you apply it as an applied spiritual doctrine, what you say practical Vedanta, if it is conveyed properly, if it is projected properly, I think it will make an immense impact on whosoever you are speaking to. And my views is very simple. If at the end of a gathering of 10 persons, you have tried to even get 2 or 3 persons out of that gathering interested in what you are saying, they will perhaps think and they will go home and then perhaps they will also think the way you are thinking, and that helps. That helps. We are a huge population now and many of our people can go out. And Swamijis, all of you, you also have a mission abroad. Why only cooped up in Kolkata or in some part of India? You have a larger mission. if I may say. Ramakrishna Mission is something very unique, something very dynamic. I think no other spiritual organization in India has this unique body which is philanthropic, which is oriented towards education, towards improving the lot of the poor. I know in my own Puri Ramakrishna Mission, they are doing tremendous work. They have a school for the tribal children, totally for tribal children, all free. The children are coming from all parts of Odisha, getting free education, right from primary till they go up to the college stage. Everything is taken care of by the Ramakrishna Mission, and I am sure the mission in other parts of India and some other parts outside also would be doing that way. Their mission to educate, that is what Swamiji always said, that education, educate the person. Let him be aware of what he is, not as much as spiritually aware. The spiritual awareness may come later, only after he has fed his own belly with job, with employment. Give him first job, and to give him job, give him education. What a practical approach. Totally practical approach, and therefore Ramakrishna Mission was born with that idea. I don't think any other organization of any other spiritual body in India has this vibrant philanthropic idea imbibed by the spirit of Swami Vivekananda. Grow that. We need to grow that. We need to bring that abroad. We need to tell, because after all, in this era of globalization, it doesn't really matter what I'm talking in India, could be well broadcast outside, in other parts of the world. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we are doing in India will only be remain confined to India. No, it will not. It will travel beyond India, whether we like it or not. We are in a globalized village, as we say. And therefore, these things, let me leave these thoughts with you, ladies and gentlemen, before you today, before I end this congregation. It has been a wonderful experience for me. I have truly enjoyed it. I wish I had more time to talk. I wish I could have shared some more thoughts, but maybe if you get hold of this little booklet, a 10-page booklet which has come out, which also outlines my thoughts, but perhaps in a more cogent way than what I said. That would be a summation of what I'm trying to say. And if some of you would be interested, well, we can interact. I'm here. Tomorrow also I'm here. So anytime. I'm the guest of this wonderful institution, to which I am beholden. Somebody asked me today whether I'm initiated. I said I am self-initiated. I haven't put on a ochre robe because I can't do that. As part of my vocation, as part of my career, I have to be doing other things. But I can assure you here that when I end this diplomatic life, when I come into my own, when I am released from that bondage of government service, of bureaucracy, perhaps I will be in a better position to give myself whole and soul to the cause of the society, because I always think that we owe it to it. Let me now end with all that we know, that we are all full in ourselves, we are all complete in ourselves, we are all blessed by God, and those wonderful experiences which have been transmitted of God by people like Swami Vivekananda to us all. We are indeed blessed. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Hari Om Tatsa. Om Shri Ramakrishna Namaha. Om Shri Vivekananda Namaha. Om Shri Sharada Devi Mataya Namaha.
Thank you, respected Sri Maulay Mishra ji, for your illuminating speech. I now request respected Sri Anindya Kumar Mitra to propose the vote of thanks.
Sorry, I'm spoiling the spell created by the previous speaker, Shamit Mishra. It has been the tradition to propose a vote. Your Excellency, Shri Kesharinath Tripathi, the Governor of West Bengal, but more importantly, Chairman of the Executive Committee of this Institute. Swami Prabhananda Ji Maharaj, Vice President of Ramakrishna Mission. Swami Subharananda Maharaj, Secretary of this Institute. Sri Maulay Mishra, as wearing the robe of a diplomat, but mentally he belongs to the mission. I appreciate your feelings, and the diplomatic robe doesn't affect your inner feeling. With respected monks, respected brahmacharis, distinguished members of the audience, we really had a spell of appreciation and pleasure, which is being broken by me, for which I really ask for your apologies. It has been a tradition to end up with a vote. I won't use the expression, the hackneyed English expression, which is used at the drop of hats, which is used whenever a cup of tea is offered to you. We shall vote in our Indian way. Your Excellency, your summation of the purpose and activity of this cultural institute located at Gold Park, and your narration of the main messages of Swami Vivekananda has been admirable. Within a very short time allotted, you have very succinctly give the summary of the main messages of Swami Vivekananda. Sri Maulay Mishra, you have very lucidly explained the main aspects of the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. You have explained the expression arise used by Swami Vivekananda really means consciousness, awakening into consciousness. You explained your association with Ramakrishna Mission at a very tender age of 12. Thereafter, in your diplomatic career, you have been exposed to various cultures of different countries. But we're happy to find that the culture you started imbibing at the age of 10 remains predominant in your mind and soul. You have explained the main messages of Swami Vivekananda is emphasis on work. We need this reminder very badly that work is to be emphasized. You have explained the philosophy of love as propounded by Swami Vivekananda. And Lastly, you have explained what is Vedanta and its usefulness in the present state of the world. You have described Vedanta as a medicine for coping with the ailments of modern world. That's the thought, a new thought which should inspire all of us to think more about it. Lastly, I'm very happy that you have appreciated the functions, activities, and object of Ramakrishna Mission. The distinguished members of the auditorium, whenever we have some guests, as a speaker or otherwise, you are the host. You express your appreciation not by using the hackneyed word, the English word in 5 letters. That is not the tradition of Bengal. If somebody comes to my house as a guest, I will never say, Dhanyavad. We make the guest feel that we have appreciated your presence, your talks, with our silent appreciation and rather vocal appreciation at appropriate steps. The rapt attention with which you have all listened to and appreciated at the end of the speech of this eminent gentleman present here speaks very, very loudly that you have all appreciated, and from the core of your heart you have said, I'm grateful to you. We are grateful to you. That is our way of appreciation and recording our appreciation. Any speech would have little use if this auditorium was boisterous and was not attentive. And then saying, thank you, it will be meaningless. I don't have to say, I propose a vote. I propose a vote for vote of appreciation of Your Excellency, of Sri Molay Mishra, oration, Sri Excellency's summation. Your Excellency has been an advocate to begin with. And in fact, he became an eminent advocate, a senior advocate of Allahabad High Court, selected by the full court. He is senior to me. Then he had a career as a legislator for 5 terms in the Assembly of Uttar Pradesh. And then he had 3 terms as the Speaker of the Assembly. So here is a man, or I put it politely, here is a gentleman who was a lawyer to begin with, became a legislator, and then became controller of legislation. Now, you are indeed a man of great, excellent virtues and qualities. If I may say with humility, you are an excellent person who deserves that to be addressed as Your Excellency. Mr. Molay Mishra, true to your name, you have really mixed the philosophy of Swami Vivekananda, modern needs of the modern society, and we are all very grateful to you for that. May I now propose a vote of appreciation? And do I take it that all of you here second that proposal or not?
With this, we come to the end of today's function. Thank you all of you.